Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me today for my Smackdown Live review. Now, Smackdown itself, it was better than Raw. I'm not going to lie. It definitely was better than Raw. But if I'm going to be completely honest with you, SmackDown as well, it was better than Raw, but I really didn't think it was that good of a show. And I'm just being honest because I don't want to come on here and show favoritism. Because I'm not the type of person to show favoritism to anything. Not to any brand, any show, nothing. So SmackDown didn't really feel like it was that good. It was alright, but it wasn't good. It was kind of average to very low. It didn't piss me off like Monday Night Raw did. SmackDown didn't piss me off like Monday Night Raw usually does every single Tuesday. SmackDown hasn't pissed me off in quite a while, actually. During the early points earlier this year where SmackDown was bad. But, SmackDown mostly pissed me off through 2017 when Jinder Mahal was WWE Champion. But all I'm saying is that SmackDown barely has ever pissed me off this year. So, to me, SmackDown was meh. That's just where I stand with it. It was just meh. It was kind of old. It was just, I just didn't really click. It just didn't click to me. So yeah. It just really didn't, it just wasn't good enough. I'll just say, it just wasn't good enough. It still was a, what am I trying to say? It really wasn't a good show. That's all I'm trying to say. Paige kicked off SmackDown talking about the whole Samoa Joe incident. And the lame thing here is that they didn't bother. It was very lame because they basically said that Samoa Joe did nothing. Like, he was just at the doorbell. They had the authorities immediately go there. And all this other stuff, and nothing really happened. That's quite disappointing if you ask me. So it was kind of disappointing. AJ Styles was at his house, and he said along the lines of that he's going to bury Samoa Joe in the land down under, and he won't be coming back. At least AJ Styles sounded very serious, and an entire episode without an entire SmackDown without AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. If I was booking this, if it was up to me, if they're going overseas, what I would do, since they're going to Australia, I would have a whole week of all the competitors that are going to be at the Super Showdown not be there. That's just kind of what I'd do. I would kind of have all the wrestlers who are going to be at the pay-per-view itself not be on Raw and SmackDown, and I'd give other people screen time. But that's just what I would do, to be honest with you. The first match was Fabulous Truth versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. Carmella, even though her face turn was random, she's proven she is a natural babyface. That's how good Carmella is. I know she was never a heel in the first place. When they turned her heel the first time, I was interested at first, but as the years went on, I knew Carmella just wasn't a heel. She's not a heel. She's a natural babyface. Carmella just sounds better as a face. If you listen to her talk as a heel, she's just straight up annoying. But then when you hear her as a face, you're just like, oh yeah, she definitely sounds better. You know, she just sounds a lot better as a face. And that's why I'm very happy Carmella's a face, because she just sounds more natural as a face. Now, people are still complaining about, oh, this hurts Andrade Cien Almas. This doesn't hurt Andrade at all. Yeah, he and Vega lost, but that doesn't mean it affects Almas. Almas didn't eat the pin. He didn't take the loss here. You know, Selena Vega, she's kind of like the one that kind of, you know, she's kind of the one that has to eat, you know, the pinfalls for Almas. You know, that's what I look at Zelina Vega. She's the type of person just to take the loss for Almas, and this doesn't hurt Almas at all. I want people to stop thinking of the negatives. Like, this doesn't hurt Almas at all. That's just my honest opinion about it. It just doesn't hurt Almas at all. He didn't take the loss. It would have been bad if he was the one that took the loss, but to me it doesn't hurt him at all. The Bar, they interrupted the New Day's cooking show. You know, honestly, I really didn't care about this. I knew the Bar were going to come out and interrupted this, and the Bar end up standing tall by beating down the New Day and this guy, which I've already forgotten his name. Ty Dillinger wanted a match with Randy Orton, and honestly, guys, I'm glad Ty Dillinger's getting TV time, but putting him up against Randy Orton, you know, it will definitely help Ty Dillinger, because at least he'll be featured in something. But you know, honestly, I just didn't really find the need for this. Maybe that was the only reason why they just put Ty here, just to get it out of the way, and then he could move on. I'd say move Ty Dillinger onto the United States Championship, considering that he beat Shinsuke Nakamura via disqualification. Why not just why not give Ty Dillinger, you know, the opportunity of a lifetime and be the United States champion? Or hell, do something with Shelton Benjamin, because Shelton Benjamin did something good, was alright here on SmackDown. You know, you got some choices, and I agree that, and Randy Orton savagely just gets one of Ty Dillinger's fingers and bends it, because he trapped Ty Dillinger's finger in between the post, and then he bent it, and Jesus Christ, I was actually speechless through that entire thing. Now, obviously, it's not the greatest thing we've ever seen, but I was speechless. My jaw was wide open that entire time, man. That was sickening, and it was, but good at the same time. You know, Randy Orton, you know, he's a really good savage heel, and you know, he's great at what he does. And that is why I'm a big fan of Orton, because I just love what he does. Because he is Randy freaking Orton, baby. You know, let's talk about Shinsuke for a second here. I want to talk about Shinsuke. I'm happy with the fact that they finally gave him a championship, but they've really screwed up Shinsuke big time. You know, turning the guy heel, in my opinion, wasn't the best decision. I was gonna give it a chance and see how well it goes, but honestly, they've really ruined Shinsuke Nakamura, which, again, like, you know, we all shouldn't be surprised We should not be surprised anymore, guys. We shouldn't really be surprised anymore. NXT talents equals ruined or equals buried. Whatever the two words you prefer. Every NXT talent at this point tends to get buried or ruined. And it's a damn shame because I really thought Shinsuke could have been a pretty good United States champion. But they've got nothing for him. Why not have Ty Dillinger? You know, I know it may sound crazy, but why not give Ty Dillinger the United States Championship? You know, at least he's doing something. You know, he did beat Nakamura via disqualification. That still counts, right? Should still count as a title victory, but for a title shot. But why not give Ty Dillinger a little opportunity, or hell, even Shelton Benjamin? Because Shelton Benjamin had a match against Daniel Bryan. Like, you've got guys that you can use on the roster, but you're just not using them, in my opinion. So guys like Ty Dillinger and Shelton Benjamin, these are two guys that you think that could easily be featured for the United States Championship. And Nakamura, he needs to go back to being a babyface. Nakamura is just a natural babyface, in my opinion. He's just a natural babyface. There was no reason to ruin Nakamura. That's just my honest opinion about it. Aiden English introduced his one night in Milwaukee. You know, I really didn't care for this, and it's just this what we feared. We feared that this was just going to be a romance, but maybe Aiden just makes it all a ruse, make it sound like that Lana wanted to make out with Rusev, Lana wanted to make out with Aiden, like Aiden could, like this footage that Aiden has, he could use this as a way to, you know, to play games with Rusev. And yes, I don't think Lana should be involved in this, but I don't know. I think maybe it's a good maybe it could just be Aiden's way on trying to manipulate Rusev, but then Lana really tells him what happened, and then it was just all of Aiden's evidence was just fake. It was just fake evidence, and everything that Lana said on that footage wasn't true. I could see that going that way. Maybe it's like Aiden is just trying to fool around and make it sound like she's saying this stuff, but then when she reveals to Rusev what really happened, I don't know, but I really hope this doesn't go down the whole romantic scene, because I don't want to see that again. I do not want to be reminded of that terrible, terrible romantic storyline with Dolph Ziggler and Summer Rae. I really don't want to be remembered of that. That was just awful. And we had Shelton Benjamin versus Daniel Bryan. You know, these two could definitely do better. These two could definitely do better. The match, I did enjoy the match, but you know, in the end, Shelton Benjamin got the victory due to outside interference, and then The Miz attacks Daniel Bryan afterwards. I still think Daniel Bryan's walking out of Super Showdown with the W, guys. Because I just think that that's what they're doing. They wouldn't be doing this if The Miz was going to walk out with the W. Asuka versus Peyton Royce. I honestly really did not care about this. I already predicted that Asuka was... I predicted Asuka was going to win the match as soon as I saw the graphics. You know, people can say, oh, the only reason why the Iconics are being featured is because of the Super Showdown. You know, at least they're being featured. You know, I would much rather them being featured than not being featured at all. and this better be leading up to the Iconics getting the victory at Super Showdown. It'll be a mistake if they have them lose at the MCG. It'll be an absolute disgrace. It would be. It's the same thing with Buddy Murphy. It'll be a disgrace if they have the Australians, lose at the MCG. It will just piss the fans off. It'll just piss the fans off, and you don't want to do that. And please, the only thing that I hope for out of all this is Asuka heel turn. It's all I hope out of this. All I want out of this is Asuka to turn heel. I think it's time for the Empress of Tomorrow to become a heel and a repackage. Turn her heel and repackage her and give her like a new gimmick or something. I'm tired of this babyface Asuka. Babyface Asuka just doesn't work for me. Even in NXT, it didn't work for me. I look at this girl as a heel. I look at Asuka as a heel. I don't look at her as a face. I look at her as a heel. I think Asuka as a devastating heel could definitely do wonders for this brand. Now, some people might say, "Oh, but Becky's a heel. Becky's a heel. They just turned Becky heel." Well, they could always just, they could just always fix the problem. They could always fix the problem and switch. They could always just fix the problem and switch Becky over as a face. Becky doesn't really get any heel heat anyway, so Becky doesn't get booed anyway, so it's not like it's going to make a difference. Speaking of Becky Lynch, her Super Showdown surprise was a poster. It was a Super Showdown poster, which, it was alright. I really didn't care. But I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get it with Becky. I'm starting to get it with everybody. And I'm going to tell you guys straight up. I was wrong. I was wrong about... I was wrong about everything I said about Becky. Being a heel, being a good idea and everything. I was wrong about all that stuff, but in the end, all I'll say is I still think Becky as a heel is a good idea, but I was wrong with the idea. I was wrong. Becky's proven me wrong many, many times. And Charlotte, Charlotte, face Charlotte is just not working for me anymore. That's just how it is. I'm just not really buying into Charlotte as a babyface anymore, considering the crowd just doesn't want to cheer Charlotte Flair. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you guys did enjoy the video. Comment your opinions down below. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And be sure to follow me on my Twitter @pballantyne95. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Guys, it will be the debut. It will be my debut at reviewing NXT on the WWE Network. So tomorrow, there will be an NXT review off of the WWE Network. Be sure to tune into that, guys. See you all then.